What if the key to understanding reality wasn't in some physics lab, but in a sci-fi show, or in a generation's unique experience, or even in the very words we use every day? Today, we are diving into a really fascinating framework that connects Star Trek, the mindset of Generation X, and what it claims is the hidden source code of our world. It's a wild ride, so let's get right into it. Okay, so the whole theory kicks off with a question that, yeah, sounds like it was ripped straight from a Star Trek script, but it's the absolute core of this entire system. What if our reality isn't just like a simulation? What if it's literally running on a holodeck? For anyone who needs a quick refresher, the holodeck from Star Trek The Next Generation is this famous virtual reality room. It can create any environment imaginable, and it feels completely real. You can touch things, you can interact with them, but it's all just a computer program. It's artificial. And, this is the important part, it's programmable. So if reality is programmable, where do you even begin to look for the code? Well, according to this framework, the first clue is hiding in plain sight, the world map. The idea is that we need to hack the map, so to speak, to decode the symbolism that's been embedded in geography itself. And here's the first big leap. This framework suggests we should be decoding geography through language. So America isn't just a name. It should be heard as a mirror ICA, a reflection which symbolizes the programmable holodeck. But on the other hand, you have Jamaica, which is interpreted as I am an ICA. This represents the authentic self, the real you, the main deck from which you run the program. And this geographical symbolism gets layered even deeper. It actually maps the world onto human anatomy. So North America is seen as the logical right brain, the machine. South America becomes the intuitive left brain, the spirit. And Jamaica, sitting right there in the middle, is positioned as the pineal gland, the third eye, connecting the two hemispheres. Okay, so if geography has a hidden code, what about our language? Well, this brings us to the second key, what the source calls the language virus. It's basically a technique for hacking words by breaking them down to find what it claims are their deeper, more fundamental meanings. For example, take the word world. This framework suggests we should hear it as world. And with that one simple shift, our reality is no longer some static place. It's a dynamic, spinning process, this cosmic spiral where information is constantly being whirled into the past. This wordplay keeps going. If you can perceive this spiral, or to use the framework's own logic, if you can spy real, then you can see true. It's kind of like finding a glitch in the matrix, right? By seeing the underlying pattern, you start to see the programmable nature of it all. Now, some of the wordplay is way more direct and simple. Take heaven. The idea here is that it's not some far-off place you go to when you die. It's a state of being you can find in two simple words: have fun. The highest state of existence is just rooted in joy and play. And that leads to this really fascinating archetype, the Joy King, which of course sounds just like joking. In this system, the trickster, the jester, is seen as the ultimate power player. And why is that? Well, because humor and joy are seen as these high-frequency tools that can just bypass our critical minds and deliver truth directly. And this isn't just abstract wordplay. The framework uses this logic to connect cultural myths. It draws a direct line from Anansi, the Jamaican trickster spider god who literally weaves reality with stories, to Spider-Man, the pop culture icon from Queens who weaves webs to move through the gaps in the system. One is ancient, one is modern, but they're both weavers, finding clever ways to navigate the grid. All right, so we've hacked the map and we've hacked the dictionary, but the final piece of the puzzle isn't out there, it's in here. We're turning our focus to the observer, and specifically, how the experience of one particular generation created what this framework calls the Gen X operating system. Okay, so this operating system is built on a really important distinction, being singular versus thinking about the singularity. Think of it like this. Being singular is like being wet while you're swimming. You are in it, you are directly experiencing it. The singularity, on the other hand, is like standing by the pool thinking about what it must feel like to be wet. One is a direct, undivided experience, the other is just an idea about it, and that creates separation. So how does this tie into a whole generation? Well, the argument is that Gen X, the so-called latchkey kids who grew up with a lot more independence and less supervision, were uniquely conditioned for this exact perspective. As the source puts it, they were trained by nature to be singular, pretty much forced to figure things out and navigate the world on their own terms.
And this singular perspective is then broken down into a super simple operating system, ABC. A is for alpha, the first thought, the mind's basic awareness of its own existence. B represents the power of movement and change, the wings you find in words like bird, bat, butterfly, or even a lightning bolt. And finally, C is the I, the ability to see and perceive the reality created by A and B. It's a simple loop. I think, I act, I perceive. And now we've arrived at the final, most reality-bending part of this whole framework, the ultimate glitch in the matrix. What if everything we've talked about, the map, the words, the observer, all points to one stunning conclusion, that the world isn't solid at all? What if it's just light? Okay, let's unpack that because it's a big one. According to this view, the world has no fixed inherent shape. None. It's just a raw field of light. The mountains, the trees, the sky, all of it only takes form because you are there to perceive it. Even the dome of the sky isn't a physical thing, it's just the edge of your personal sensory field, the limit of your own projection.
This entire mind-bending idea is just perfectly captured in this one powerful quote from the source. I don't live in the world, it's the world that lives in my mind. It's the ultimate observer-centric philosophy. Reality isn't something you're in, it's something that's in you. So we're left with one final question to take away from all this. If there's even a shred of truth to this idea, if the world really is just a reflection of the observer, then you really have to ask yourself, what are you projecting onto the screen?